All right, guys. Hello. Sunday, October 24th. So we're heading into a huge week. All right. So this week we have a ton of earnings. We have, and then we're going to officially close out the month here. All right. So let's make sure we're prepared for it. I just want to quickly recap a few kind of trade ideas from last week, and just more or less highlight some of these trades that I took and what my mindset was coming into the week. All right. So one that I did really well on that I want to highlight is net. Now I know what a lot of you think or know that I was short this on a longer time frame ahead of time, right? Because this had moved up so much, right? This was in the 150s, here 157, then we end up at 182. That's about a 15% move in 3 days on no news. So, but you know what? That trade didn't work out. However, once I saw that it finally gave some weakness, okay, was this day right here, right? We finally started in the pre-market. 905 show some weakness. Okay, so in my mind, I'm watching this 180. Okay, and what am I looking for? So my mindset last weekend, I spent all weekend studying to improve my trading, because the week before that, I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday flat. I did not have a great week until Thursday, Friday. So I really wanted to pick it up coming into this week. And the one thing I realized is that I'm missing a lot of moves by just trying to focus on Tesla or Amazon or Nvidia. And the main priority for me going into that last week was find momentum, find a stock that has momentum, and then that momentum is likely to continue. Okay, so you don't have to be in here, oh shit, the trade didn't work, stop out, done for the day, that sucks, oh, poor me. No, the stock, you have to identify, does this stock have momentum? And I taught this on last week's webinar. Go back and watch it if you want. There are 3 things that we need to watch for basically momentum. Does it have a catalyst? Okay, is it breaking a key level? Or is there kind of a market-wide sell-off? Okay, or pump. All right, so those were, and then once you identify one of those 3, you can't just trade Amazon because it's Amazon. Is it breaking a key level? Does it have news? Is the market overall surging higher? Okay, or selling off, right? Too many of us are like, oh, I'm just going to trade Amazon. You're just being lazy. And you may tell yourself, oh, I want to get comfortable with 1 or 2 stocks. Okay, great. But that stock needs to be moving. Okay. So coming into this past week, what I was looking for was identify a strong momentum move and then buy the pullbacks in that trend. Okay. Now you may think, oh, what if the trend reverses? Yeah, that's where your stop comes into play. However, back to the first point, it shouldn't change directions because there should be a reason why that's going to continue. So I was pretty confident that net, once it broke below 180 here, pre-market, it had already been so extended that I knew eventually this is going to have its big red day, right? So when I saw this opening candle drop, I didn't chase down here and try to get my position in here because of FOMO. No, I just said, you know what? Any bounce on this, I'm going to short. And you guys, you can go hit Control F in the chart, in the chat. Watch what I was saying. Any bounce short, right? So I took this bounce here, shorted this, okay? Into this candle. This is my short opportunity. And I think I was a bit early on this. I think I was in maybe closer to here and I added more. Oh, Mitch, are you averaging down? No, because the trend is still in my favor. All right. Where an average down would be is if, I was buying calls here and calls here and calls here, and the trend is going down. That is averaging a shitty position. This, I added a bit here, I added a bit more here, and my overall stop loss was this 90 EMA, right? So I'm trying to load up as much as I can, as close to my stop loss as possible. Why? Risk to reward. If my risk is only to right here and my reward is all the way down here, I need to load up as much as I can right here, because look at the risk to reward, right? And this was a really good trade. And inevitably we get that flush here from, what was that? 177 down to 172, right? Exit your position, another pop right here, you get another entry and another flush. So that was a really good trade right there. All right. Another one I want to kind of highlight that paid really well. That one was really good. I think Coin was a pretty solid, and Tesla was a really good one on Thursday. Coin was the day where they had news. I think it was this day right here. Yeah, so they had news in the pre-market on this day, right? So here was their news pre-market about partnering with Facebook, right? So my plan was buy the open and buy as any pullback that is given. Why? They're breaking above 300. They have a partnership with Facebook. The stock is overall bullish. 300 is a critical level. It's not a question of, oh, I wonder if this is going to go up. It's a guarantee. Yes, it's going to go up by the pullbacks. So we got an entry here at the open, got our move up, this pullback, bought the entry off the EMA, another quick scalp, right? And these guys, you may not think, oh, this is great. Oh, well, what's your risk reward? If you buy here, your stop loss is literally, you're going to risk maybe 20, 30 cents. And you got from 301 up to 305, 306, you're getting a $4 or $5 reward. Huge risk to reward by just buying the pullbacks. All right. So that is kind of my focus coming into this week. Again, guys, identify, here's, Tesla, for example. Once Tesla broke 880, okay? So why 880? Well, if we look at the chart, this was the level, right? This was the level, okay? So let's go back and look at 880 from that day. I think that was Thursday after earnings. Okay, here was the level. Strong move up. A lot of traders that go, oh shit, I missed the whole move up. Oh, now I'm sad. I missed the move. And I'm going to watch people on Instagram post pictures of how much P&L they made, this and that. Oh, I missed this whole move. No, there is, if it is going to be a strong move, it's not just going to give one move. It's going to go all day, right? That is what the market does, guys. It's called a trending market. That's what's going to happen. And it's not by chance. It had earnings, right? It broke through 880 key level early in the morning, right before 10 a.m. Every pullback, and I was buying this. I was on voice calling this out, guys. I said, as long as we hold 880, I'm in. I was buying into this 880, 881, 82 level. And regrettably, I sold most of it right here. But then I did get to re-enter over this level. Okay, so this is just an example of identify, why does this stock have a reason to move? Okay, great. Now identify a good entry where you have a low risk and you have high reward. Okay, you don't want to be chasing it up here, and then you don't want to be chasing it even here. Why? Because your risk is too high. You don't know what's going to happen, right? So what you want to do is let it close, let it chill out and buy the pullbacks, right? You should not be scared of this. Why? Because you have done your due diligence. You know that 880 is a critical level. You know the stock has news. You look at the volume. It's good. You should not be scared of this, right, guys? You need to be able to trust your levels, trust the catalyst, trust everything, and be able to read the tape, see the bidder stepping up and holding 880 and make your trade. All right. So that's kind of my plan coming into this week, guys. Continue to find momentum, buy the pullbacks in the trend. All right. I made an adjustment. I used to be buying the breakouts. I was struggling with it. There was too many fake outs. There was, I just was struggling with it. So I had to make an adjustment, and I'm going to continue with that. So coming into this week, we'll just start down here with earnings right away, actually, guys. So we have a lot of earnings. This has been posted since Saturday morning, yesterday morning, whole lot of earnings. All right. So some to focus on, guys. Facebook is, biggest to start. Well, not biggest, but they're huge. They're top 3, I think, top 4 in the world in terms of market cap. So Facebook, we have UPS, we have AMD, Microsoft, Google, Twitter, Robinhood. This will be very interesting. We have BA, don't really care about them anymore. Teladoc, Twilio, ServiceNow, Spotify. We have MasterCard, Shopify, Apple, Amazon. They're really a Starbucks team out. This is a sleeper. It's $100 billion company that no one even really knows about, but whatever the hell their name is, Alticean or something. But nonetheless, guys, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of earnings. So what does that mean? It means implied volatility everywhere is probably going to be high this week. Number 2, be very careful with your swing trades. You cannot swing trade NVIDIA when AMD has earnings. You should not be swing trading Snapchat, even though I do have Snapchat, but I have long-term with Facebook. You should not be swing trading, Amazon when Apple and Google are reporting because they have the cloud service, right? You need to be cognizant of what businesses intertwine and be very careful, because As we saw with Snapchat, one goes, they can all go. Snapchat missed earnings, Facebook dropped -6%. If you're trying to be slick swing trading Facebook because of, oh, they have a nice daily flag pattern, that's cool, but during earnings, that does not matter, right? You need to be aware of where the earnings are and be very careful in your swing trades, guys, because you can get smoked, okay? And I've seen it happen before. People don't even, oh, why is Roku dumping when Snapchat? It's just not worth swing trading, guys, right? Because shit happens, right? Snapchat, it throws a worry about all of this, all the tech stocks, all these tech stocks that may be impacted, right? So just be very careful. So first setup for this week, guys, I'm watching is going to be Amazon. So they have earnings Thursday. They made this huge move up, and I was pretty shocked to see them come all the way back down and retest it. Okay, so they're basically right back to where that breakout was. Do you guys remember this day? It was, I think, Friday of last week, not this past Friday, but the previous. And I mean, just a ripper of a day nonstop. And they're just right back to where they were. So this stock has really had a habit of doing that, right? Sell off here, huge recovery, huge sell off. Recovery, tries to sell off again. So we'll see what happens. Either way, guys, looking for a big move here. This has been in a big kind of wedge for a while now. So let's see come Thursday if we can get a strong move out of this. Tesla, this is going to go higher, guys. This is going to go really high. I think this at least has 1,000 in it. This is a monthly, I believe this is monthly. Yeah, this is a monthly chart, right? So you could see that 500 was a big level, wicks off 500. And now we're ready to break out into new highs. Okay, so you could see what happened last time. We kind of had a little inverse stage here, right? It didn't stop here and then sell back off. All right. And again, I'm not saying it's going to go as crazy as it did here, but this went from 500 to almost 1,000, almost doubled. Again, I'm not saying this is going from 900 to 1,800, but this is at least, I believe, going to 1,000, probably 1,200. Okay. And where these numbers come from, they're just looking at previous price action and kind of thinking that, if I'm a big shareholder in Tesla, there's no way I'm looking at this chart and panic selling. Right, I'm at least holding to maybe 1,000 whole number, and then I would consider taking some off. So coming into this week, guys, all dips should be bought on Tesla. Okay, all dips should be bought on Tesla. Next one I like, guys, is Affirm. So if you guys, let me show you on this chart actually. Affirm, the all-time high right after IPO was 146. 146, right? And now if we go into a smaller time frame, now 146, this was resistance. Now we're using it as a support level. So now I'm watching for that next leg up through 160. So that's a huge flip, guys. That all-time high 146 went from being a big resistance level to now a support level. Now, if you're short, you're screwed here. If you're long, that's a good stop loss to be long. I don't think longs are going to panic here. This looks to me easily over 160 into the 170s, maybe 180s. All right. Also, guys, note the RSI here is not really that high at all either. So when it comes for me to be bearish, this needs to be very high, right? So we got a 65 daily RSI. This has a lot more room to get parabolic to then get in that 80 RSI territory. At that point, the stock's probably 180, 190, maybe 200, right? So this looks really good, guys. Keep an eye on Affirm and don't hesitate, guys. There's too much hesitation. Oh, I don't know if it's, what if it's a fake out, this, that? Who, guys, if you're going to be scared about fake outs, go get another job, right? You can't trade if you're scared of fake outs. Like, it just can't happen, right? Do your due diligence, know what your setups are, execute. Teladoc, so I'm keeping an eye on this one. This one has been absolutely crushed. This was the March sell-off, guys. So March down here, this fell from about $300 and it's trading at 135. This is a huge owned, huge position by ARK, Kathy Wood. And I just think that all the negative news, all the negative sentiment, negative this, negative that is built into this stock price here after this massive sell-off. So I think a surprise on earnings, this could be one of those stocks that you see go up 30, 40% the day after earnings. If they somehow guide above estimates, if they have good numbers. Again, I'm not saying play it. I'm just saying when they report, make sure you have them on your watch list this week, because if they do surprise, I think that there is a ton of, there's an opportunity for this to at least hit 175. So from 135 up to 175 could be a big move. If it gets over this level here, guys, it's going to hit 200. All right. So the technicals are there. And I think just like the kind of the mindset that when the stock is negative 32% year to date, there's not, what do you want it to do? Go negative 65% year to date, right? All the negative news is kind of built in here. It's heavily owned by ARK. I'm assuming they've done their due diligence. I assume they like the management there. Now it's up to management to kind of put together a good quarter. So keep an eye on that one, guys. And then lastly, guys, watching FedEx, we've been looking for this gap fill for a while now, and we're getting very close to it here. Okay, so we had a little bit of a rejection candle on Friday, but overall not that bad because the market was pretty weak in general on Friday. So keeping an eye on that. And also UPS has earnings on Tuesday. So if, UPS has nice numbers on Tuesday, that could be a catalyst to get this thing moving up, right? Because this is going to, if UPS does really well, everyone is, FedEx is going to rip because everyone's, well, that now FedEx must do well on their earnings, right? And they're going to run that up until earnings, whenever theirs are. Okay, so that is a setup that I really like here, guys. Over 235 up to 250 area. Big gap to fill here. All right. So let's keep an eye on this, guys. A few other trades that I like. I'm, keeping an eye on Upstart. This thing is really reliable on these pullbacks. So keeping an eye on Upstart in terms of another leg higher. Okay, so this thing has been, really strong. And I think now that it's coming back into this area, previous all-time high here, previous resistance should hold as a support. And I could see it making another bull flag similar to what it did back here, where it created a nice bull flag. Okay, and that was kind of the same idea, that the previous resistance, all-time high, was retested. It held nice, like it's just nice, slow, controlled price action. Resistance, inverse H, pull back, hold it, another high, pull back, hold this previous resistance, bull flag. Let's see if we can break out. Okay, so keeping an eye on this one, guys. It's been red the last 5 days straight, basically. I think that it has potential for a nice bounce in this area, so keeping an eye on that one. NVIDIA, keeping an eye on this. This is very close to this all-time high that we're looking for. Okay, so just mainly watching this chart here. Now, AMD has earnings on what, Wednesday? Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday after close. So I do like this NVIDIA. I'm going to be very cautious with it because that AMD, but this one looks really solid. And again, this has just been consistent price action, guys, right? Pullback, all-time high, that's your trade. All-time high, there's your trade. All-time high, there's your trade. Very close. So keeping an eye on it. Facebook, guys, keeping an eye on this one. It's sitting basically right on the weekly 50 SMA here. So I think that this is one where a lot of the negative news is built in as well, mainly because of what happened with Snapchat on Friday. So I think that Facebook maybe is a good spot to, if you want to buy some equity. I think it's a pretty good spot. If it shoots up after earnings, you may not get another shot at it. You're not going to want to buy this up at 360. Right? Because you go, oh, it's just 320 the other day. Being where it is on the weekly SMA, I think you could probably buy equity here. Stop loss just below it. Pretty good risk to reward. I think if they beat earnings, you're going to have 40-50% upside that you miss. You're going to have maybe a $10 downside. So 5-to-1 risk to reward. I like that a lot. And again, I think that a lot of their, you can see where the stock was before Snapchat missed. Now, if you guys remember, okay, so here was where they were at like 345, Snapchat screwed up, and now they're down. If you guys remember, actually, Facebook already guided down on their, what day was, I think it was this day right here. Facebook had guided down that they were losing because of that, losing some ad spend because of Apple. And I think it was this day here, guys. I know it was not this day because this was the day where the Instagram and everything was down. I know that day for sure. But this day, I believe, is when they gave, hey, guys, you know what? Our ad spend may be a little bit down because of the new Apple changes. So they've already kind of priced this in themselves. All right. So I think that there's a pretty good risk to reward in being long Facebook down here. Snapchat, keeping an eye on this one, guys. So I have initiated a swing trade here. I have January $55 calls. So basically at the money, and I'm giving myself November, December, and their January monthlies. So basically 3 full months of time. The reason I like this is any household tech name that is going to drop 27% is probably a good value, honestly, a value buy. Okay. Now you can argue all you want. There's TikTok, this, that, and the other. Okay. We all have Snapchat on our phones, guys, right? We all have them for the most part. Okay. It's a household name. It's not a speculative company. It's not. It's guys. It is heavily owned. It's been around for a long time now, guys. It's a good dip buy company. Okay. Also, guys, the daily RSI at a 25 and the 4 hours at like a 15. Okay, 4 hours at a 14. So again, do I think that this is going to do this? Absolutely not. Right? Do I think that it's likely to just kind of go sideways for a little bit and then curl back up? Yes. That's why I'm going with January's and not next week contracts. If you bought the dip with next week contracts, you're going to learn a good lesson. Okay. So I really don't expect, this. Okay. Even if Facebook crushes it on Monday, that may help Snapchat, but I don't think it's going to be this type reaction. Okay. It's likely to more or less be maybe a bit more down, a bit up, sideways, and then eventually it'll have a day where it gets an upgrade and it catches momentum, and that'll be the day where you're going to be, shit, I missed it. Okay. So that's one that I really like. Okay. And kind of reminds me of this, guys. Again, this was Nike after their earnings miss. This was their earnings miss here. Sold off. They dropped about what? 10% here off earnings in a few days, and now back higher than ever, right? So you really, guys, on strong names, you have to find an area. You have to look at that daily RSI. Daily RSI got down to 22. Put your foot in the sand, buy some time, and you here got a 15% reversal, right? So that's what I'm looking for out of Snapchat. Again, it may fade for a few more days, but eventually, as long as I have time, I can stay in this position. I'm not too worried about it. All right. So good luck this week, guys. Oh, actually, let's review the economic calendar for the week. Okay, so we have, I know, isn't Powell is speaking this week, as you know. I'm pretty sure Powell's speaking. I'm just not sure. I'm not seeing it in here. I'm pretty sure Powell's speaking this week, guys. So I'll update that as the week comes. Sometimes they add stuff to this. So I'm pretty positive that Powell is speaking, guys. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But we do have some stuff here: new home sales, consumer confidence. We do have a little bit of economic as well, but mainly, guys, this week is all about earnings. Okay, all about earnings. So good luck. If you have not studied, your last week, if you show up every week, guys, and you're barely journaling and you're just trying the same stuff over and over again, then you're getting upset. Oh, I'm not really finding traction, man. I'm gonna quit this and that. Quit. Okay, it's not for you, right? If I told you how much I've on my red days, guys, how much I've had to lose to learn these lessons, it's insane, right? Mark, if you're listening to this, I know you know what it's like. Other people, we've lost 6 figures if you put our red days together, right? Just to make more on our green days. But it's not just the green days, guys, especially at the start. The red days, guys, easily 6 figures. Easily I've lost 6 figures on my red days. If you put all of those red days together, guys, easily. Okay, you have to keep pushing. You have to journal. You have to know, why are you making these mistakes? If you're making the same fuck up every day, and then on your weekends you just watch Netflix or work a part-time job, and you try to tell yourself spend time away from the chart, work-life balance, you're going to get better. You're not, right? You need to figure out why you keep making the same mistake, and you need to take every precaution you can to stop making that mistake. You don't have to turn that mistake into your strong point. You just have to eliminate that mistake, guys. All right. And if you don't have anything, like myself, I didn't feel like I needed to correct any mistake. I just felt like the market had changed and I needed to find a new answer to it. And that's why I began buying more of those pullbacks. All right. So please, guys, make sure you journal. I'll see you in the morning. Peace.